your latest news update from Western Mass News.
Good Monday afternoon. I'm Chris Pisano with a look at your headlines. The House January 6th committee has unveiled a criminal referral for former President Donald Trump. The committee citing evidence that it says merits prosecution by the Justice Department. Among the crimes the panel cited are obstruction of an official proceeding, aiding in an insurrection, and conspiracy to defraud the United States. The referral has mostly symbolic import, and it will ultimately be up to the Justice Department, which has been conducting its own investigation to decide what charges, if any, to bring. A South Hadley man charged with the murder of his father faced a judge earlier this morning. Craig Weiss is accused of murdering his 70-year-old father and attempting to set their shared house on fire. A judge held him without the right to bail. Police were called to 37 Lawn Street in South Hadley around 4 p.m. on September 9th. A home health care agency had called them after finding a body inside the home. Weiss's next court date is scheduled for January 20th. And the Massachusetts Gaming Commission approved MGM Springfield's application to become the second retail sportsbook operator in Massachusetts. It comes after a meeting December 7th delayed MGM's hearing for a Category 1 license. The Gaming Commission said MGM submitted an incomplete application, prompting the casino to make updates to its application for today's meeting.
I'm meteorologist Jana Brown with a check of your forecast. It has been a blustery day today. Wind will stay a little brisk through the evening and the first part of tonight. Wind should get a little bit lighter through sunrise. Temperatures likely dip back down to the low 20s. If wind can lighten up enough, we may see some upper teens. Even if wind doesn't get lighter, it'll probably feel like that with a wind chill. Then we've got mostly sunny skies back for Tuesday. Breezes will be lighter, back down to about 5 to 10 miles an hour. We'll have seasonable temperatures back to the middle and upper 30s. Pretty nice weather day, actually. And Wednesday is looking similar with calm wind, highs around 38 and mostly sunny. Cloud cover is going to build in though for Thursday. However, the first part of the day looks dry. Rain and possibly even a wintry mix across the hills will start rolling in for Thursday late afternoon into the evening. Then we warm up significantly as a powerful low pressure system moves to the Great Lakes, bringing them a blizzard. For New England and pretty much up and down the East Coast, it's going to be all rain and wind with a chance for a little bit of snow on the tail end of the storm. But it's the wind that is the biggest concern.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.